Okay. Part two. Pretend like you didn't see the first version of this, and maybe you didn't because I'm going to go back and delete it. You didn't need to see that. So there were some technical issues, some technical difficulties, and it's okay because the great story I was telling you, I needed to start back over again because I missed a big piece of the story. So if you're watching this, I'm Kim Coles, and really, you probably know it's me because I'm only streaming this in places where I've had relationships with you. Either you participated in the Manifest Me map, or you're on my personal page, or you're on my Coach Kim Coles page, or you're inside the Radiant KimUnity. The Radiant KimUnity is a 12-month membership, a 12-month program, I should say, a 12-month journey that the doors close today. But I wanted to share with you the lesson that I learned, I would say probably in 1998 or so, that brought me to this day, brought me to the moment that I decided to create the Radiant KimUnity. And then I'll share some details with you about it, and invite you to step in. And the doors close at midnight. I want to tell you the story of how I found myself and found my purpose. And one of the reasons why I created the Radiant KimUnity is so that you could feel fully resourced in your purpose as well. Some of you may have already found it, and that's awesome. The Radiant KimUnity program is about helping to fill that vessel so that you feel so full that you're able to shine in the world. And by the way, I'm giving away the end of the story, but that's it. The end of the story is you get to live and be your most radiant self, and the world will then give you all the resources for that to happen. And we all do well. We all, live an amazing, radiant life. Okay. So here's the story. I did tell this story yesterday on my main Facebook page and on Instagram, but not everybody got a chance to see it. And I wanted you to hear it again, specifically in these smaller groups, because you may have missed it. And I think it's important to know, and I love telling the story. So I just turned off my incense. How do you turn off your incense? I put out my incense, but my sinuses are still misbehaving because it was just all too strong. Here we go. Many, many years ago, after living single, which was one of the most amazing work experiences ever in my life, I got really depressed after the show ended. So depressed that I actually expressed my depression by shopping through all of my money. And I've been very transparent about telling that story, about how I just didn't feel like I was worthy of having all of this. Who am I? I'm just a girl from Brooklyn. Who am I? I just wasn't deeply rooted in what I desired and what I deserved, believing what I desired and what I deserved was right. And so I allowed myself to get completely depressed and fall into this place of just shopping all my money away. Now, I decided to go and visit a psychic seer. And like I said, this is in the late 90s, maybe 97 or 98 or so. I decided to go visit this psychic seer because I was looking to find myself. And I thought, oh, she could tell me something. Maybe she could tell me something. And I'm going to tell you now, disclaimer, I'm just going to do an all-purpose accent. I'm not really sure where she was from, and I actually think she was putting an accent on, which is why I can't determine where she was from, because I usually have a good ear and I can pick up where people are from, and it was just a little mismatch of things. But this is what she said to me. Kim, there is a message coming for you. There is a message coming for you I cannot give to you, but you must go and get the message. You must cross a large body of water, and stand before something very tall, very old, and very ancient to receive your message. In the back of my mind, I'm going like old and ancient are kind of the same thing, but whatever, lady. You must cross large body of water, stand before something very tall, old, and ancient to receive your message. Your message will be there. And so I said to her, oh, I know. I'm going to go up north and visit the redwood forest. Like I've always wanted stand in front of those majestic trees that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and maybe my message will be there because those are tall, old, and ancient. And she said, no, no, you must cross large body of water. And so I was like, ooh, okay. Large body of water, tall, old, and ancient. I know, Stonehenge. Okay, she didn't say Stonehenge. I said Stonehenge. And if you don't know what Stonehenge is, it's this really mystical, magical place. It's a circle of stones, really tall, old, and ancient stones that we're still not quite sure how they got there. And we're still not quite sure what the purpose of them was. We believe that it was some sort of ritual site or some sort of place where ancient man built these stones so that he and she could feel closer to God, closer to spirit. There's some people who say that aliens built them. We don't know, but they're there and they're mystical and they're magical and they're fabulous. And you've seen 1,000 pictures of them. Well, I knew when she said tall, old, and ancient and message, I was like, oh, that's a mystical, magical place. I have to cross what we call cross the pond. You know how the Brits refer to coming to America as crossing the pond. We're going to go visit you across the pond, darling. Well, the pond is like just the Atlantic Ocean, but I'm going to go across the pond and go get my message. This is it. I felt sure about it. I felt like this was the right thing to do. Now, I told you I'd shop through all my money. How am I going to get there? I realized and remembered that I had bid on and won in one of those charity auctions 2 British Airways business class tickets to England and 2 hotel rooms, just sitting in my file cabinet. I didn't think that I should go. I didn't think about going. I didn't plan on going. And this was the perfect time because I'm going to go and get my message across the pond. Great. So off I go. Thank you, Lady Mnique. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. I figured out the tech challenges. Once again, you may have heard this story yesterday, but not everybody got to see that video, and I wanted to come and share it with you here. Okay, that's it. I'm going to Stonehenge. And I decided to take a friend of mine. There was a friend in my life who was troubled, but he was amazing. He was one of my dearest friends, and he had done a little bit of work for me in the realm of publicity, but he was having issues and it just troubles at the time. So was I. Maybe that's why we were friends. And I remember understanding that he was bipolar, and I knew that he was using substances to balance out that bipolarism. Alcohol and some other substances, not like prescription drugs, but he was doing what he could do to try to figure himself out and try to even himself out. And in doing that, sometimes he missed the mark, and sometimes he was erratic, and he was just in his space, whatever. But I loved him. He was so super smart, and he was so super funny, and I wasn't going to let that issue stop me from being friends with him, just like he wasn't letting my depression stop him from being friends with me. And I thought he's the perfect person to go because he had time in his hands. And, I just felt spirit said, oh, you should take him. And so we prepared to go. Now, before I left, I decided to do a little bit of research because I was pretty sure that this would be the place to receive the message. But I wanted to get over there and know exactly where to go and who to talk to make sure I had the best experience of Stonehenge. Now, this is just before Google really has taken off. And I'm not even sure Google was around at the time. I just did my research. And I remembered knowing that there's a group called the Druids, like Druid priests and priestesses that go there and perform ritual and, at the solstice and, all that kind of stuff. I didn't understand all of it, but I figured those would be the people who probably have the best connection, like, people who are pagans or people who are, lovers of the earth. And I was like, oh, those are going to be the people I need to hook up with because they're going to know exactly what to do when I get to Stonehenge. And in my mind, I must have dialed like 1-800 Druid priests. I don't think that's what it was, but I connected to some sort of Druid organization of some kind. I called because like I said, Google wasn't around. I researched it online and then I called. And it was like, hello, I'd like to get some information about Stonehenge. And he was like, hello, this is Brother John here. Blessed be, how may I help you? And I was like, hi, Brother John. My name is Kimberly, and I've been told that there's a message that I'm supposed to receive, and I need to go to Stonehenge to get it. Now, she didn't tell me to go to Stonehenge. I had made that part up myself, but he don't need to know that. I need to come to Stonehenge and receive my message from the universe, from God, and I need to be able to, walk amongst the stones, and may I have a private visit? And he was like, no, you're not allowed to walk amongst the stones. They are sacred, and only we are allowed to be amongst the stones. There's a cord around them. You're not allowed to touch them. No. I was like, that's mean. But I get it, because people go over there and they try to chip little pieces of the stone. Like I told you all, I went to Egypt, and you can see in some of the temples that people try to scrape off pieces of the temple to take a little piece of the, the magic dust, the ancient dust with them. And that's what people do. Or they write graffiti like, Katrina and Katrina and George were here. We're in love. Like, how you gonna spray paint that on the side of Stonehenge? I mean, people do. They graffiti. They do things. Humans are wonderful. No offense if your name is Katrina. I'm just playing. But that's what people do. So he was like, no, you're not allowed to get close to the stones. And I was like, that's not going to work for me, because I came to get a message. I need to walk amongst the stones. I was even willing to pay for a private visit. He was like, no, not allowed. I was like, okay, whatever. And it wasn't time for solstice or anything. So I couldn't go and, put on a robe and blend in. It wasn't going to work. Okay. So he said, don't worry. There's a lot of other hinges. There's a lot of other hinges. You'll find one. I was like, all right, whatever. And after doing a little bit more research, I found out indeed, there are lots of hinges. So those stone circles and, this beautiful structure that was built or brought here, we don't know. Apparently, ancient man did it all over, right? There are hinges. There are these ancient sites. There are mounds, things that people have built. Just like it's not like there's only pyramids in Egypt or Mexico or Peru. There are, these structures are all over the world. Anyway, I digress. So I did some more research, and I found another hinge, and it was close to Stonehenge, and it was called Avebury. And I don't have the pictures on me, but if you could see the contrast between Stonehenge and Avebury, they just look very different, but it was all the stones in alignment. I was like, okay, great. This will work. My friend and I get on the plane. We fly over. He gets a couple of bottles of tequila to even himself out. And off in the car we go on the opposite side of the road, knocking off side mirrors along the way, because we don't know how to drive on the opposite side of the road. But off we go to drive to Avebury to see the hinge so that Kim can get her message. Now, by the way, if those who are here, there are pyramids in other places. There's pyramids in other places in Africa. Yeah, there's these beautiful sites, these beautiful ancient sites that ancient man didn't know how to, there wasn't religion at the time that was telling people what to think and what to do. They were figuring it out on their own. And so that's what's beautiful. And this is ancient and beautiful. Okay. While we're driving there, my friend is like, whatever. England is no big deal. There's a McDonald's. What's so big about? We have McDonald's at home. There's nothing special over here. Oh, what's that? A Banana Republic? Big deal. Oh, what's that? A Burger King? Yeah, we have those. This is no. Oh, look at the grass. It's green, just like it is at home. And I was like, do you get that we're not at home, though? Yes, those things exist. This is capitalism. Those things exist here, too. But listen to the accents of the people. Look at their faces. See how they're different. Let's just find what's different and wonderful and fun. It was like, whatever. So we arrive at Avebury. And those of you who know a lot about England, a lot of it's very sort of rainy and cloudy and moist. And thankfully, I brought my galoshes because I had read on some website, where you're going is real muddy, so bring some boots. So I had my little galoshes on or wellies, depending on what you call them. And I'm walking on the very muddy ground of Avebury. And he's like, I'm just going to stand over here. Go get your message, whatever. And he goes and stands over by a trash dumpster. True story. True story. Goes and stands by the trash dumpster. So I go to receive my message. Now, what I was saying about the picture, Stonehenge really is tall and majestic. Avaberry, the stones are maybe 4 feet high, maybe 5 feet high. I mean, they were shorter than me, and I'm 5'8". And I was like, oh, these are not tall or majestic, but it's the only henge I could find that I could walk. Like, they didn't care if you walked amongst the stones. They did not care about it the way they care about Stonehenge. And so I stand there and I'm ready to receive my messages. Oh, mighty ones, ancestors, God, universe, I'm ready to receive my special message that I was told that I would receive. I am open. I'm an open vessel, ready to receive. I'm listening. Nothing. I'm getting nothing, which is weird because I'm highly intuitive and I consider myself an empath. I'm getting messages all the time. I'm getting messages from y'all right here, right now. Like, I almost always, there are voices in my head all the time, but there were no voices that day. And I was like, that's weird. Where's the message? Nothing. Like radio silence. I was like, okay, no. Maybe I'm not supposed to hear the message. Maybe I'm supposed to feel the message. So I start touching the stones. I go to another one. There's like 10 of them in a row. I go touch the stone. It's kind of cold and wet and damp, but I'm like, I'm just going to touch the stones. I can always disinfect my hands afterwards. Let me touch the stones. Let me see if I can feel the energy of the stones. I'm feeling the energy of the stones. Oh, mighty ones, speak to me. Speak. Nothing. I'm getting nothing. And my hands are dirty. Like, man, what is going on? I'm supposed to be getting a message. Come on. I go, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to hear it or see it. Maybe I'm supposed to hear it, hear it or feel it. Maybe I'm supposed to see it. So I go to another stone and like, maybe there's some sort of carving or like a picture or something that ancient man carved in a butterfly that means transformation or something. And I'm searching the stones. I went to another one, like, what? Nothing. There's nothing. I'm like, what in the world? What the world's going on? Did you see? Okay, I love you. L.M. McCall says, you looked up Avaberry Henge and saw how small the stones are. I also saw that's in Wilshire. And I saw, okay, beautiful. So you see now how small the stones are. Like, it's not this majestic henge that I thought I was supposed to go to, but Brother John told me I couldn't go. So I was like, let me go make this other henge work because the trip was already planned. I'm going to make it work. I'm getting nothing. And I'm really now like, uh-oh. I planned this whole trip around getting this message that she didn't tell me to go and take. She just said, go across a large body of water and stand before something tall, old, and ancient. I'm the one that made up Stonehenge. I got to figure this out. Now I'm a little miffed. I'm a little worried, a little concerned, and I'm wet and I'm cold. And I look over at my friend who's standing by the trash dumpster. And just that moment, a little bit of sky opened up. So you know how like it's super, super cloudy, but like the clouds were part just a little bit to let a little ray of sun shine in. By the way, the sun is always shining. The sun is always shining. The sun never stops shining. We think it doesn't because night happens, or we think it doesn't because we get depressed, or the sun's not shining today. We think it's not happening because it's raining and thundering outside, but the sun is still shining. The sun is still there. And in that moment, the sun was like, boop, I'm still here. And a ray of sunshine came through the clouds and boom, illuminated my friend over at the side. And he felt it, saw it, and started to shake and convulse and look up at the sky. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's the message. Wait, no, not him. Me, I'm right here. I'm only a few feet away. He's by the trash. He's not even standing where he's supposed to be standing to get, come on now. That was meant for me. True story. I was like, what is going on? Give me my message. It's a powerful visual. It's real, Lady Neek. It's so real. Okay, once again, I want to reset the room just in case you're just coming in. I'm telling the story of the time I found my purpose. And you may have seen me tell the story before, but just enjoy the story now because I want to tell you that finding my purpose at that time led to who I am to this day. And you have this in your life too. I can help you find that and uncover that. So here he is off to the side. He's receiving the message and he starts looking up at the sky, and he had a little journal with him and he was writing notes and looking up at the sky and writing notes, and he's crying, and I'm walking over like, are you okay? What's going on? He says, do you feel it? Do you feel it? I get it now. I get it now. I'm so busy looking for things outside of myself, and everything I want is right here, and everything I need is right here. Thank you. Thank you. And he's writing the message down because he's gotten the message, and he's feeling it, and he's crying, and he's rocking back and forth. And at some point he stops talking to me because I can't talk right now. Oh, really? You can't even let me hear your message that I came to get. Cool. Cool. How nice for you. Very nice for you. And in that moment, I had to shift, being jealous that my friend had gotten the message and I hadn't gotten the message. Okay, I just wasn't standing in the right space. Maybe the old, tall, majestic, ancient thing was supposed to be the trash dumpster. I don't know. All right. Good for you. You done? You good? You got it? Okay, let's get back in the car because we got more trip. We had planned to go visit a place called Bath. Bath, Bath, but over there they call it Bath, which are these ancient Roman baths. And, we'd already planned to go there since we were so far out of the city. So, you drive out of London probably a couple of hours or so, hour and a half, 2 hours, as I recall, maybe even more. I can't even remember now, to go and find, the henges, right? And I should also tell you that we had seen Stonehenge on the way because Avaberry is not very far from Stonehenge. So we passed by Stonehenge because I was going to try to sneak in. Brother John can't stop me. I'm from Brooklyn. I was gonna go sneak down, walk on the plane because I saw it. I mean, I don't mean the plane as in, I mean like the fields and the plains. I'm like, ain't nobody here to stop me. The Druids aren't here to stop me. And sure enough, there was a rope all around, like you couldn't get close. And I wanted to respect the site. If I'm not allowed to be there, I'm not allowed to be there. And I had already found this other place. I was certain I was going to find my message. Oh, but no, my friend had gotten it. So we get back in the car. And I'm a little salty, but I'm happy for him. Like, that cross between, have you ever been that way where you're happy for someone else, but you're a little blue for yourself? And it's like, I'm really trying to be a good person and be happy for you, but I wanted it too, especially since I'm the one who paid for the trip and flew you here and had to deal with your shenanigans, but that's okay. All right. We keep driving, and there's a point where we come to a mound of dirt and rocks and stone. And you can see that it was clearly made by human or alien hands. I don't know. I think man, went up there and climbed and made this, giant mound it was very, symmetrical and all that. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a mound that has been like purposefully put here. That's kind of tall and old and ancient. I don't know, man. I came to get a message, so pull over this car. I'm fitting to get my message right by that dirt mound. It was pretty tall. It was probably, 20 or 30 feet high or so. And I was like, pull over the car. And so there I stood in front of the mound, and I was like, oh no, I'm going to get my message now. Now, I did not come all the way over here not to get my message. You better give me my message. And I stood before the mound and I said, Almighty mound, come through for me. I came to receive my message. And I allowed myself to get really quiet and still. And finally, the message began to poke through. And the message was, just be. Say what now? That's the message. They said, be quiet now. It's okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Just be. Really? That's the message. Oh, okay, be quiet. Yes, I will be quiet. I will be. Oh, you're not done yet. Okay. Just be. I needed you to bring him. What? Just be. I needed you to bring him. And that was the moment that I let it all go. And I was like, oh, so it wasn't about me? And the message came back that it was about you bringing him so he could get the message that was meant for him. You got a message today too. The message was just be. And when I came live and told this story yesterday, I didn't go deep into the just be part of that message, because I'm thinking at the time, well, the message is just be quiet. I need you to bring him. But the message was for me to just be. Stop trying to do and become and all the things and have and figure it out. Just be. Just be still. Sometimes just being still is a really good idea, because the message can't get in if you're all blah, 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 blah. Just be. And by the way, I needed you to bring him. Now, let me stop the story long enough to tell you that right now, my friend is fine. He's great. He found himself. He got himself on the proper protocol for his condition. I don't think that it was me at all. I think I was just a conduit. I think I was the vessel through which this message needed to come through for him. He got himself into therapy. He did all the work himself. But that was the moment of light, the moment of understanding, a radiant moment that he could see himself, that he was standing over by the trash can, smoking a cigarette, looking like, what is she doing over there? And what? The light came for him. Sometimes it comes in a lightning bolt like that. And you can look in your life in times where the messages came through in a lightning bolt, and either you took them and you understood them, or you pushed past them, right? There are times when, I don't know if you're like me, red flags showed up and you like, knock that red flag down, get down, get down, get down, get down. That's the same thing as spirit, source, the creator, God saying, pay attention, like that, get out, come on. At this particular moment, that light opened up, and for him to hear it. And I got out of my own way, and me feeling like he got my message and I didn't, to stand before the mound and get the just be, needed you to bring him. Changed my whole perspective on life. It was the day that I understood that we're doing and being and trying, like being, in the way of like trying to work towards being something, when just being is all you need to do, really. And being a vessel and being open to being the conduit for others. I learned that lesson, and a few years later, I began doing programs for other people, because I wasn't working on what I thought was my chosen gift, my gift of love and laughter, being on TV. I realized that I can share my gift anywhere. I don't have to be on a TV show. I never had any ego attached to being on a TV show anyway. I just wanted to make people laugh. I can do that anywhere. I became a speaker. I became a coach. I started opening up programs and being the conduit, being the vessel through which others could find their light. And here's what I was saying to those of you who are in the Manifest Me Map beta, those of you who have already stepped into the Radiant KimUnity. You understand now that shining your light, being a mirrored expression, which is what ME really means. It was called the Manifest Me Map, but the me stands for mirrored expression. And we have Dr. E.J. Johnson. You all have heard me refer to him as my BOS, my boyfriend of sweetness. And now it's become the BOS as the boyfriend of sexy sweetness. He's the one who said to me one day, I just want to be a mirrored expression of you. I was like, thank you so much for all your help. He says, I'm just a mirrored expression of you. And I was like, that's it. He was the one who gave me that little ray of light that I then give to you. It's about being a mirrored expression. If you're showing up as love, love will show up for you. If you're showing up as joy, joy will show up for you. If you're showing up as positivity, if you're showing up as wealth and abundance and health and growth and learning and great relationships, all of that will show up for you, because you're mirroring that out in the world. You're radiating that out in the world. It will then be mirrored back to you. Because I took the one crazy friend I had, the only one who probably was available, and I just remember Spirit said, take him. I'm like, his crazy behind. All right. I wasn't even aware of what that moment would do. And it was for him to receive his message and for me to receive mine. And I want you to know that the more you share with others, the more you get back from the world. Those of you who know me, you know I've said this quote many, many times. Zig Ziglar says, you can have everything you want if you just help enough people get what they want. You can have everything you want. All you have to do is help other people get what they want. That has been a guiding principle in my life. And it's one of the reasons why I've created everything I've created outside of show business. Because here's the deal about show biz. There have been times I've created projects for myself. And sometimes they went all the way and sometimes they didn't. I don't have any control over that. Most of the kinds of things that I want to do require a list of executives to say yes. Even auditioning, it's not one person that says yes to me. It's a room full of people, and then a room full of people that I never even get to meet. My success is dependent on other people saying yes to me about something. Where in my life can I create my own yeses? I created my own yeses by creating a one-woman show in which I tell the Stonehenge story complete with photos. I created other opportunities, and now I'm creating opportunities for other people to step in. One of those is the Radiant KimUnity. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you've likely heard me talk about it, or you've seen an ad about it, or you've gotten an email about it. And I want you to know that tonight the doors close. The doors are closing on the Radiant KimUnity. I'm going to put the link here for you, put the banner up so you can see. Like 11:59 tonight is when the Radiant KimUnity closes. And the thing is that I've created this 12-month journey to expressing more joy, more creativity, and really finding and feeling into your best version of your life, the mirrored expression that you want. So you say you want all these things, great, let's go get them. Better than that, you say you want all these things, great, let's allow them. Remember, my message was just be. Every time I just sit down somewhere and just be, it's when the manifestation happens. Now, there's actually a roadmap to manifestation, and I taught that in the Manifest Me Map experience. And by the way, if you're on that page, just know that tonight, the Radiant KimUnity closes doors for probably for a few months, because I want to start serving the people who said yes. I won't open it up for a little while. The content around the Manifest Me Map will come down on Friday. So the group will stay open, but that content is all coming off because it was a beta. And I wanted to test the content. I had written this course and written this content for public consumption. I now have gotten incredible testimonials and feedback from you. I now will take all of that down. And if you haven't had a chance to download your Manifest Me map, please do that and watch all the trainings. You have until Friday to do that. And I want it to be in integrity with all the people who did step in and say yes to the next part of the journey. But we spent 2 weeks together, and that Manifest Me map, I will probably sell that one day for upwards of several $100s. And you got in for free, and I'm so glad you did. I was just being and allowing the light to come and shine on you, the light that you already have inside of you. There's a thing that happens to me when I'm on stage speaking sometimes. I don't talk about this very often. I can, because I'm a trained comedian, and I'm one of those comics that I do scan the audience for reactions. Like some comics are not looking at the audience. I'm absolutely looking to see who's getting it, who's feeling it, who's liking it, how I can shift and change it. And when I speak, I can see the lights come on in people's eyes, and I get so happy. But the light is already in you. The light already exists. I didn't have to travel across the pond to go and get my message. She told me I needed to, and it was a great story and a great trip. Well, maybe I was supposed to do it, but the truth is the light and the message is already here for you. You just have to unlock it. And I began to invest in myself, invest in coaching, and invest in learning, and invest in growing myself so that I could be a person that didn't have to go and travel somewhere. I didn't have to go on a journey like that. I mean, thank goodness I had those tickets. But the truth is that the journey is within. And if you'd like to have a team of people to hold your hands, if you'd like to have fun while going on this journey, I'd love to invite you to come inside the Radiant KimUnity. Several of you have already said yes, and I'm so grateful. And on Tuesday, we start with our orientation call. And I'm just excited. I'm excited that that moment so many years ago birthed this moment right here. As I told you, my friend is perfectly fine and he's good and he's got it. I figured out and I went on my own quest. And the other piece of this I wanted to share too is that I created this program because this is what I wish I had had back then. I might not have allowed myself to spin into a space of not believing in myself and not having, and having doubt. And those of you know me, I talk about putting up your doubts and your dukes. I was in a space of having my doubts and my dukes up. Well, nothing can come in if your hands are closed that way, if your heart is closed that way. And in community, KimUnity, and in community, we create sacred space. We create a place where we see and celebrate each other. In fact, I went live inside the Radiant Community group. Those of you who are already inside Radiant Community, I've left a video for you, like a 20-minute video, talking about what we're going to be up to and talking through how we're going to celebrate each other all the time. If when I was in my darkest hour, I had a community of people, and I had friends and I had family, and before I went and got help, I didn't celebrate what was working. I didn't have gratitude for what was working. And maybe a friend would say something here and there. Thank you. I'll bring her up. Thank you. Maybe a friend would say something here or there, but staying steeped in a program, in a journey, in a container where you're all there for the same thing is a good thing. So I had asked if somebody wanted to come up, or maybe Team Kim did this for me, asked if somebody wanted to come up and be coached. And I see that we have somebody here. So I'm going to bring her on because she looks like she is ready. I will stay for a few minutes to do that. Hey, is that you, Sharon?
Hi, yes. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Sister Lock Sharon. You know that's what I'm going to call you every time I see you. And you spell it differently every time. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just my up crazy look,
I love it.
Fancy.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm super excited and I love I've been to England, so I know all about the wet areas. And I was actually looking to see if there's any Stonehenge areas in Virginia. We have Foamhenge.
What's Foamhenge?
Foam, as in, I guess someone made it out of large foam.
Oh, Foamhenge. Hilarious.
Okay.
Hilarious. But I bet you know what's interesting about that area? So, America is like 1/10 as old as all these other places, right? But I bet you there are sites and monuments, especially in Virginia, because so much of this country started there, right?
Mm-hmm.
A Foamhenge is hysterical.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go take a picture just because it's not far from me.
Oh, I need to see it. I love to see it. Now, did you go to visit Stonehenge when you actually went over there?
No, I was there for business and I wasn't in that area. Yeah. But I definitely will if I get a chance to go back.
Yeah, it's pretty majestic and beautiful. Like I said, we couldn't walk over there, and I was going to try to go, and I was like, nah, I'm going to get in trouble. But Avebury was where I was supposed to be, and somebody said they looked up the picture. If you look side by side, it is decidedly different, but so rich in history, and just like Virginia is, and I love it. I love it. Please send a picture. Please, can you post it inside the Radiant Community page?
I will.
Stonehenge.
Yes.
They don't know how they built it, but I will tell you, I'm really into crystals and rocks and ancient things. I have a bunch on my desk, and there's actually a stone called Presley stone, which is what Stonehenge is made of, and I have a piece of it. I don't think they took it from Stonehenge. They found it wherever it was mined, and it's supposed to have ancient, knowledge, being able to access. I just love all that kind of stuff. Thank you. Let me ask you this. What are you excited about inside the Radiant community?
I think there's so much. For me, it's just about after my back injury and trying to get, my life back together. I have several businesses, but none are really working right now. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that is kind of surprising is that I don't care. I mean, it's not that I don't care. I know I should. I know I need to be concerned. But right now, I'm just taking each day as it comes. And so it's not like I'm like, oh, woe is me. I got to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm putting in the work. I'm trying to figure out a way to work around, like perhaps because I can't sit long, perhaps I don't need to do the work in-house. So perhaps I need to outsource. So I think this is an opportunity because I've spent so much money trying to fix the printers, and I'm reaching out because it's 2 printers on either side of me. But perhaps I need to find a way to outsource the work, and not really do it myself. And I think that that's one of the reasons why I'm not like really stressing about it, because I know how you say, what's for me is for me. So that I know when it's my time to kind of get back into it, perhaps, I'll figure it out. But just the trying to figure out like exactly what is for me, how do I manifest what is for me, where do I start? I'm a journaler. So I have notebooks all over. So I remember you were talking about your purple books in this book. And I was like, oh, where's this book? I want to use this book. Well, I don't know this, but I'm going to find it. I'm going to find that book. And I've already found the new book. I had it printed the other day at Kinko's. So I have that. But I'm just excited to get started. I'm excited to be able to take this journey.
Me too. Your energy is so powerful and so beautiful. And the other thing I would say to you is you actually figured something out that is actually an answer to somebody else said here, but the piece of develop your person, what is about removing the extra worry. What you've done is you've done that whole first step of just be. When I talked about all the ways, and I'll come back and talk about the ways to there's like ways to manifest. There's like a step by step method. But the first step 0, is just be with it. And worrying pushes it further away, because if you're mirroring your expression in the world, if you're worrying, then the world is like, well, if she's worried, then I'll send her more stuff to worry. I think that you just allowing, and you also have the other really important secret is we think we have to do it all. For you to outsource it now means you get to exponentialize yourself. And you get to duplicate yourself, and you get to put yourself in your business where you are the most valuable. And you'll be giving opportunities to someone who probably needs it more than you do. I should say more than you, but you know what I'm saying? So you're giving another opportunity, and then now you get to be a vessel for someone else, like I already know you are. So I'm so grateful that you stepped in. I'm so grateful that you stepped into this call today, and I'll see you on Tuesday for sure. I put a video inside the Radiant KimUnity page, so go check it out when you have a chance. And I'm excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here, and I can't wait.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Things are going on behind the scenes. So yeah, the extra worry piece, removing the extra worry. So you know what I'd like you to do? Rather than removing the extra worry, replace it with more faith, more belief. Like, so instead of being over here and worry, like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work out, turn towards what you know to be true, what you know is working out, and what is working for you, and just stay in that realm, stay in that mind space of this is working out. I know that's over there, but I'm going to just turn this over here, and I'm going to spend more realm of my being, more mind space, more heart space in the realm of what is working, what I know to be true, what has worked for me in the past, and it will diminish the worry. So it's not about removing, because I think saying that we're going to remove the worry just brings on more worry, because how do you remove worry? You have to go into it and then take it down. I say stay over here and stay in the space of what is working. And so there's that. So my team just reminded me that I have a meeting at 4:00 and it's 4:04. I love talking to people. And I just had a little thing with my boyfriend today, who talks more. And I would like to say, Boss, you're right. I think I talk more. All right. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Again, the Radiant Community is open until 12:59 tonight, 12:59 PST. Would love to have you this experience. I'm going to spend 12 months just loving on you and giving you the tips and the tools and the techniques and the resources that you need. And you're going to take it and run with it and run the world. There'll be challenges. There'll be community. There are some amazing coaches who are there to support you and love on you. And I want to thank you for going this far the journey with me. I say come on and take the next piece of the journey. Everything is on the Radiant Community page for you. Join us. Thank you, Lady M. Neek. Join us. It's going to be fantastic. And like I said, Manifest Me Map, everything is open. Everything is open until Friday, gets taken down on Friday. And the doors to Radiant Community close tonight. Everybody have a wonderful evening or day or whatsoever it is for you. It's still day for me. I got to go run to my meeting. I'm just going to be. Okay, bye.